Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tea with Stokwase, where I serve you the hottest tea from the internet, from TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, and sometimes X. If this is your first time seeing me on your screen, where have you been? Welcome. And if this is not your first time, welcome back to the channel. Please subscribe and like the video if you like the video. Thank you. Today's video is going to be about trad wives. Before we get into that, we have two exciting announcements. One, we have reached 300 subscribers. Yes. Thank you all so much. I'm really, really grateful. It's taking us closer and closer to our goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for that. The second announcement. I am officially a grandmother. So this plant right here, this is a money plant. I call her Ego. Ego is Igbo for money. So this is my money plant right here. And I have done my official first propagation of Ego. Don't ask me how many failed. But you can look at this. So she has a baby. Are you seeing the leaves? Do you see that? Yes, she even has 3 leaves. So thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I need my congratulations in the comments. Thank you so much. All right. Enough of all that. Let's get into the video.
The trad wife TikTok trend. And trad is short for traditional. So there's these gals and they're like baking bread and their kids are kind of, around them as they're doing it. And then they have like a voiceover and it's like, I'm a traditional wife. Women these days are all about trying to make their place in the workforce, but I'm trying to make my place in the home. I bake homemade bread for my children, and I believe in being a submissive wife for the Lord. Well, then there's kind of like the granola hippie with a tinge of Amish kind of granola that's baking these breads and they're talking about the Bible and how her husband makes all of these decisions and how empowering that is for her.
What?
That's fraud.
That's not even... What?
And then if you're doing this, you can't both be a traditional wife and then have this side hustle, spending all of these hours curating all of these videos, getting super dolled up for your Instagram. You're just a grifter on the internet like the rest of us.
Right.
It's just everybody's out grifting on the internet trying to make a buck.
No, I totally agree.
I mean, top of the list, us.
So yeah, it's not out of a job. You're working harder. The hours are all day. Your entire life is work now.
Yeah.
And there's no retirement, and you could get fired at any fucking moment, and you get nothing.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to claim any of the shit you did as job fucking
work experience.
Work experience, yeah. When you go to then go get a job.
Yeah.
It's the worst. If it wasn't marriage and it was a job, no one in the world would take that job.
Exactly.
It would be the worst fucking... Your parents would be like, whatever you do, don't do that.
Stay away from that company.
Try to be a rock fucking star before, like, the things that be a fucking baseball player, whatever kind of shit, be an astronaut.
But that should be the last choice.
Don't do that.
Right.
That's the worst fucking... Even if it's a 50-50 shot, that's not worth the 50% chance that you're going to destroy... however many years of that, like, it just disappears.
Right. As if it didn't happen.
It didn't happen, but you're old as fuck now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just suck away however many years.
Those prime years, yeah.
Yeah. And that's not including children involved.
Right. And now you're old.
It makes the entire thing 10 times more complicated.
So when you hear him break this thing down, you kind of understand, and even before this, I already understood how bad your position is by yourself, because people go into marriage and forget that it is a contract. I don't treat it as such. We women want to go into it like, oh, it's love, rose-colored glasses and all that. Excuse me, but it's an actual contract, and if you don't protect yourself, you will on the losing end. Yeah. And then secondly, you cannot call yourself a trad wife if you are online having a social media career, because that's also a career. Yeah. So don't push this agenda if you are not doing what you are trying to push. Like you are not actually what you are claiming to be. Don't do that. Um so yeah, and it is quite unfortunate that we women voluntarily in 2025 give our financial freedom to somebody else and expect that the person will not abuse it. We're not expecting that everybody is going to be wicked. I'm sure we'll be going into it like, oh my god, he loves me. I can die for him. He can die for me. Baby girl, baby girl. Things change. Things continuously change. Even if you and your husband can die for each other, there may be other things that will come into the marriage that will from external things that will come. But we're living in a society. You may have children, and the whole situation changes. And it is, yeah, it is such a volatile situation to put yourself in that I truly, 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 I can. I can go on my knees to beg you guys not to, if you have a choice, not to go into this. And in 2025, I'm hoping that most of us will have a choice to choose our own careers, to choose our own financial independence over a man. And the theme of this video is a man can never be a plan. All right, let's continue.
I could never be a housewife. I don't want to be a man's trophy wife. You want to know what I did today? I woke up at 8 a.m., went to a Pilates class, put on a cute little workout set, had my hair done, you know. Then I came home, I cleaned the kitchen, did some dishes, then I put on a little bikini, went outside, laid in the backyard for an hour, tan the front, tan the back, came back inside, did some laundry, did some sweeping, some mopping, you know, just getting the house all clean, put together. Made myself some avocado toast, an iced latte from my espresso machine. Then I took an everything shower. I exfoliated, I washed my hair, I blow dried my hair afterwards. Look how pretty she looks right now. And then we had friends over for dinner, so I made us all chicken burritos with homemade queso, like to smother him in. It was so good. They just left. It is 8 o'clock. I'm already in my pajamas, doing my little skincare routine. Gonna go sit on the couch, read my book, maybe do a little sewing if I feel up to it. I could do laundry tonight if I wanted to, but I honestly might just wait until tomorrow. I don't know why anyone would not want to live this life. I get it's not for everybody, but I am enjoying myself, let me tell you. Don't get me wrong, I spend a lot of time on my feet because I'm cleaning a lot. I'm doing a lot of cooking and walking the dog and playing fetch and whatever.
Please, who is going to tell this lady that she's not a trophy wife? Please, who is going to tell her? Because only in this video now, she has mentioned more than three people, three different jobs. She has mentioned dog walking. There are people that are official dog walkers, professional dog walkers. She has cooked. People are professional chefs. She has cleaned. People are professional cleaners. Huh? She has hosted. If you're doing all that, baby girl, you're not a trophy wife. You're not. I'm sorry to let you know that you are not. And all these skills are not going to be, you won't put them on the CV later on in the future, God forbid, that your money man decides that you're no longer young enough for him. Who are you going to tell her?
So I just saw a video of a woman who says that she wears a day collar. And I was like, what is that? So she wears a collar around her neck as a sign of submission. So when her husband comes home, he knows that that means that she's willing and able to submit. She says she does it because he's a good provider and that he takes care of the family and that he'll do anything that they need him to do. And the thing about it is, I looked at her bio and it said Christ above all. I need to know exactly what scripture and verse in the Bible did God tell you to wear a dog collar around your neck to show that you're submissive to your husband. This is the kind of thing that makes some people shy away from Christianity, make people think that Christian women are crazy and fools and suckers and all of that, because we do things in the name of Jesus that you should have just done in your own name, in the name of Stephanie, in the name of Stacy. God Almighty doesn't require you to wear a dog collar to show that you're submissive to him. So why would a random man walking the earth require that from you? I know if she likes it, I love it, but it's just the fact that people try to normalize these things and make people think that this is a part of being a good Christian wife. No. If you want to do that, go ahead. But don't put my Jesus in it. I know he's got to be up there ready to throw his sandal at some of y'all.
So of course, I went to go and look for the video she was talking about, to listen to the gems, the gems of knowledge that the lady was dropping for us. So let's watch it.
I'm gonna put this out there because I don't understand why y'all are getting married to people you don't trust. Why are you getting married to someone if you already have a backup plan? Don't be a stay-at-home mom. Don't be a trad wife. He's gonna leave you. He's gonna cheat on you. Why are you marrying people like this? If you don't trust the person you're with, why are you with them? I've gotten so many comments and it's like, I could never trust a man that much. And I understand men have hurt you. Men have hurt me too. It's called healing and growth. And yes, my husband healed parts of me that he didn't even break. But it's trust. At the end of the day, I still trust this man that I'm married to. The whole reason I'm a trad wife, the whole reason that I'm a submissive wife is because I trust him, because I full-heartedly trust him with my bones. He full-heartedly trusts me. Y'all see marriage as so disposable, and it's not. Marriage is a commitment. It's not just a trend. It's not something you do. You commit your entire life, your entire being, your entire soul to somebody. If I'm going that deep in with somebody, I'm going to trust them 100%. And if for some reason they break your trust, figure it out and fight for your marriage. Go to counseling, go to therapy, sit down and have the hard talks. All of the people I know who have been divorced, it's because they didn't have the hard talks. It's because they didn't sit down and try to figure anything out. For those of you who aren't married and are thinking about getting married, or you're engaged, or you're dating, trust the person that you're going to get married to. They are going to be with you in every single intimate, secret corner of your life. If you can't trust them to not leave you, to not cheat on you, to not control you, not control money on you, to not abuse you, don't get married to them. A marriage is supposed to be one puzzle piece and another coming together. You are supposed to fit together perfectly. If you can't trust that he's going to be gentle with you, if you can't trust that he's going to love you and provide for you and keep you safe and keep you nurtured, why are you with him? Get married to someone you trust. Love the person that they are, not what they do for you, not how they make you feel, not how it feels being with them, the person that they are. Love them for that. Trust them. If you don't have trust, don't get married.
I think this lady has watched too many Disney movies. I think that's the problem. Well, first of all, before we even get there, I was thinking that this day color was a big thing. I'm happy that at least it looks normal, because me, I was already imagining some leather color. That aside, the people that got married, obviously they trusted whoever they were getting married to before they got married to the person. Like, she just sounds so delusional, and it shows that she is very young. Some things I would say also will show that I am a bit young. I'm not that young. As I told you, I'm a grandmother. But how will you only have, let's say, give her like 5 years experience in this marriage? Some women have had 30 years experience. They are telling you what is in the situation. You're coming to me and sit down here and be telling me, oh, if there's a problem, we're going to talk about it. I'm not saying that you should just go and dispose of your marriage if there's something that you can't talk about. But there's some things that cannot be spoken about. And there's some things that have been spoken about for so long but has not changed. Even the Bible too say adultery is one of the reasons why you should leave your husband. She's more righteous than Jesus. She said, never shall you leave. Well, I'm happy for her. If she likes it, I love it. This next one is Pearl. I'm tired of seeing this Pearl. Can please one of these men come and pick her for us? Come and pick her off the market, because we are tired. She's not even married yet though, but she's already a submissive wife before she even married. So please, one of these trad men should come and pick her up off the street. Let us hear what, I beg.
So a lot of the wives are triggered on this app.
Firstly, Pearl, I see you're getting a little razzle-dazzled, but be careful. You know these traditional men, they don't like anything fake, including makeup, so just be mindful. But tell me more about what these wives are being triggered about.
Saying I'm young, inexperienced, don't know what I'm talking about.
So thing is, you are young, you haven't been married, so you are inexperienced, but okay, go on.
But I listen to what the men say every single day.
See, I agree that you talk to a lot of men. The difference would be what kind of men you're talking to. Because you see on your podcast, I notice that anybody that has a different view than you is completely outnumbered. So, of course, the majority of people that you talk to are going to have your perspective.
On top of that, we're not loyal anymore. Women leave 70 to 80% of the time, 90% of the time if we're college educated. How are you a good wife if you're not loyal?
Well, you see, generally how that would work is that if you left, you wouldn't be a wife. That's how it would generally work. But go on.
Now, the women in the comments will always say, well, but there's issues. Da-da-da-da-da. What about me being happy? We just didn't get along anymore. I'm sorry, good wives believe that the family should come before their personal happiness, not themselves before the family.
Interesting, because I thought you said it was the husband that was the head of the household and the head of the family. So why is it the wife's responsibility to put the family first? Why didn't the husband think about putting his family first before he went out and cheated? Or before he abused his wife, whether it be physically or emotionally, or before he berated her in front of the child? Sometimes putting the family first means putting yourself and your child first. Because raising a child in an abusive household or in a household full of dysfunction can actually be worse for the child than to just leave and raise them in a co-parenting situation.
The fact that we are talking about Handmaid's Tale as if it is something that it's like a blueprint of what is happening currently in this life, like in real life, is quite scary to me, because we just spoke about Adriana Smith and we used The Handmaid's Tale as reference. We're also talking about trad wives and we're using The Handmaid's Tale. It is so scary. If you haven't seen that series, yeah, I will recommend it because it was well written. But that is my own horror movie. Yeah. But we're going to head over to another trad wife and see their shenanigans.
Have you guys seen, heard, or read the story about ballerina farms that should be going all around social media like now? If not, we are going to talk about it, and I'm going to try and do it in less than 5 minutes. Pictured here is Hannah Nealman. She is a 34-year-old mother of 8 and former student at Juilliard, the prestigious Juilliard. Yes, the same Juilliard that Sarah went to, the one we saw her audition and all that, and she got into. Well, on July 20th this year, an article by The Times, which is a UK newspaper, released Meet Queen of the Trad Wives. Trad meaning traditional wife, traditional wife meaning women belong in the kitchen, you have no rights or say so, it's the man. Very affirming male and female roles. Hannah Nealman, known to her 9 million followers as Ballerina Farm, milks cows, gives birth without pain relief, and breastfeeds at beauty pageants. Is this an empowering new model of womanhood or a hammer blow for feminism? Boy, when I tell you, as I was scrolling through TikTok this morning and I saw the initial video around all of this and I started to do a deep dive myself, I was like, what the fuck? Pictured here is Hannah's husband, Daniel Nealman. He is the son of billionaire, that is correct, billionaire David Nealman, who is a founder of JetBlue and other commercial airlines. Both Hannah and Daniel grew up Mormon, coming from large families. I believe he is like one of 10. At 17 years old, Hannah left Utah, where she's originally from, to go and study at Juilliard. In a 2018 Instagram post, as well as within the article, Hannah details how this all came to be. They first met at a basketball game. Daniel asked Hannah out on a date. She was like, nah, I got school to focus on. I'm also trying to get ready for the Miss New York pageant. I'm good. 6 months later, they reconnected, and how they reconnected is quite interesting. Hannah was on a flight, I think she was either going back to Utah or to New York, I can't remember. And again, she was on JetBlue Airlines, which is the same company his dad owns. He makes a call, gets the seat right next to her. 3 weeks after they start dating, they become engaged. A month after that, they get married. 3 months after the wedding, she's still at Juilliard. She falls pregnant. She becomes the first undergraduate Juilliard student in modern history to be pregnant. Because obviously, if you're a ballerina, you can't be pregnant and trying to dance. But wait, does not tell her he wants to become a pig farmer until after she says yes to the engagement. Entrapment at its finest. I'm just going to call it what it is. Now, within the article, and with Daniel not being around, you see, when Daniel was around during the time of the interview, Hannah had to be very careful about what she said. But when there was a time when Daniel wasn't around as she was being interviewed, she said this. Back then, I thought we should date for a year before marriage. She continues, so I could finish school and whatever. And Daniel was like, it's not going to work. We've got to get married now. Girl, I feel like that man knew you were going to be great. And the couple have 8 children, and she's had, and from my understanding, she's had 7 of them naturally, and one of them she had an epidural because she was overdue. The baby was also 10 pounds. She did not disclose this while Daniel was in the room during the interview. Daniel had left, and she whispered this to the interviewer. She also mentioned that having an epidural was kind of great. I couldn't imagine it not being great. I've heard the stories about childbirth. Again, another moment when Daniel's not in the room, the interviewer asked Hannah if she thought this is how her life was going to be. She said no. Her goal was New York City. She loved everything about New York. She wanted to be a ballerina, and I quote, I was a good ballerina. Daniel, on the other hand, when asked the same question, says, yes, he expected his wife to be more at home with the kids. Oh, that's correct. You heard that correct. If you take a look at her Instagram, there is little to nothing that symbolizes or references her life before she becomes Ballerina Farm. You can scroll back to 2018 or so, and there are a few videos of her doing ballet. And I think this might have been maybe 2020 or something like that, not really recent. No real recent videos or photos of her attempting to do any type of ballet. And the crazy part is, in Old Barn, Hannah wanted to convert into a ballet studio. Daniel said, nope, that's going to be the kids' schoolroom. So she has nothing for herself. I also want to note that none of her family are pictured anywhere on her Instagram. Everything is about the Nealmans, Ballerina Farm, and yeah. We're hitting the 5-minute mark, and I have this last thing. We're going over a little bit. It's fine. So the last thing I want to note is within the interview, Daniel notes how sometimes she's so sick from exhaustion, she's in bed for a week. And that is because Daniel will not let her have any childcare help. Nannies are out of the question. They have cleaners, but she has to pretty much do everything herself. And clearly this has happened more than once. And they keep having more kids. Yeah. So a lot of people are now flocking to her Instagram, showing her support, pretty much saying, girl, we hope you get out of that horrible relationship. Also going to Daniel's Instagram and condemning him for pretty much like, mofo, you trapped her. You messed up what could have been an amazing career for her as a ballerina. Because when you look at these videos and you look at her photos from 2018 on back, she looks seemingly and genuinely happy when she is doing ballet. And when you see videos of her, like with the kids and with Daniel and doing farming stuff, she seems happy, but not in the same way as you see her light up in these videos and photos of her doing ballet. This photo is from 2010 when she was dancing in China. I assume this is Swan Lake. It looks like Swan Lake, but I could be wrong. Anywho, you can read the full article on the Times, and a lot of other publications are starting to talk about it now. Let me know your thoughts. I would never give up my career goals and objective for a partner. That's just me. I don't care what our faith is. I don't care anything about that. Some people, we only get one chance at life. And that is no disrespect to the Mormon faith at all. But I thought this was an interesting rabbit hole to go down. I know it's not royal related, but it's a good story nonetheless. So let's keep We are back with Ballerina Farm Part 2. And I have the infamous egg apron video. I haven't watched it yet, so let's take a look.
Yeah, it's my birthday present from Daniel. Hoping their tickets to Greece.
Where's it from?
I don't know, the boys took it off.
I took it off.
It's from Ukraine.
So, plane tickets? Ooh, a hat I can wear in Greece.
It's not a hat.
It's not. Oh my
great. Now you can gather eggs.
So cute. It's really cute. It's
Yeah.
a cute one.
That's the best. You're welcome.
Thanks, Sonny.
Not for a long time.
What? You mean after bearing you enough children to make up your own Olympic team? Taking care of your entire household, sometimes leading to exhaustion to the point she's in bed for a week at a time. Literally giving up her dream of becoming a professional ballet dancer. Hashtag entrapment. You couldn't. An egg apron. Then the audacity to say, "You're welcome." I have been on this earth long enough to know that if somebody doesn't say thank you immediately, oftentimes it's because it's not what they expected. 2, you probably sold her a dream of going to Greece and she thought this was the moment. And instead, read the room, Daniel. Read the room. And see, this is why you're getting ate up on social media. Ay, Dios mío. Jesus, Mary, and Josephu. Does anyone predict a trip to Greece soon as damage control? As I was doing a further deep dive into her Instagram, I found this video. Let's take a look. Did y'all check out, did y'all see his face? She genuinely was excited. As I always maintained, when she dances, she lights up. He looked over it. He looked like, why am I doing this? Oh, you gonna leave me like every other person I made famous did? If you know that quote, you know. And if you look through her Instagram, she barely posts anything of her dancing too much anymore. Does he not understand the gravity of his wife being a Juilliard-trained ballerina? And I will continue to maintain that ballet is very much so a part of who she is, because this post, taken from her Instagram, written in 2020, advises dancing is an integral part of who I am. Hashtag that's passion. I've heard the stories. I've seen the documentaries. The dancing's gorgeous, but the behind the scenes, that's work. In my opinion, I don't think this was the life she was wanting to necessarily live. I don't know. I'm just speculating based around everything. It really looks like her dreams and aspirations went further than being a stay-at-home mother of 8, continuing on, and being a farm mom. And there's nothing against that, but you know who she reminds me of? It's giving one of my favorite Miss USAs of all time, Olivia Jordan, who represented the state of Oklahoma before winning Miss USA. Damn, the potential. I mean, she is the current Mrs. American, and she did compete in Mrs. World. But by golly, she is like, almost every other photo, she is pregnant. She don't even have a studio. They have 328 acres, and you mean to tell me this woman cannot have a studio? Well, tell me what y'all think below, because my blood pressure is getting raised. Bye.
If there's anything that women should learn from that Ballerina Farms article that came out, is that men are not stupid. I've said this once in a video before, and I'm going to say it again. Men are not stupid. They're not stupid because they know your potential before you do. And they will go out of their way. They will pull strings, the same strings that her husband pulled on that JetBlue flight so that he could sit down next to her. And mind you, she rejected him before. He had a whole strategy laid out because, one, he's the heir of JetBlue, so he's got resources, he knows people, he knows what strings he can pull, he has the power, right? So he pulled strings over at JetBlue to make sure that he sits next to her on that flight to wherever she was going. Tell me that is not manipulation. He knew that she was going to get into that ballerina school, the most prestigious school to get into if you are a woman who wants to become a ballerina. He knew that, and he had the intention to say, nope, you're not doing that. Instead, you're going to dedicate your goals, those aspirations, and those dreams into me. You're going to center me. Everything that woman does, from taking care of the kids, from cooking from scratch, from having that one epidural out of, 8 kids? You see how rooted in male-centeredness that is? This is why I make the content that I make, talking to women about how important it is to center themselves and to always put their goals, dreams, aspirations before any man, because One thing men are not going to do is center you. They're always going to put themselves first. And you are seeing that right now with that Ballerina Farms lady. She's getting absolutely no benefits from being a mother and being a wife. Everything she has to do, she has no help, she has no support. When she goes grocery shopping, she has to bring all 8 kids with her. She has to cook food from scratch. She had 1 epidural. And if she has one request, like, I don't know, going to Greece for a vacation because she sure as fuck deserves it, instead she gets an egg apron to remind her of the fact that you are a wife and you are a mother, and your job and your purpose is to serve me as a man. Ain't no damn way that man's centering her. Men will always put themselves first. So why don't women start doing that for themselves? When you remove yourself from male-centeredness, when you are a woman who makes a choice to pour into herself, whether it's attacking goals, setting up dreams, and having those aspirations and being able to bring those aspirations, dreams, and goals to life at the same time, that strengthens your discernment. It strengthens your intuition. So in that way, you are able to decipher as to whether or not the man that you are talking to is manipulating you or not. Men are quiet about this, but they know. They know that your potential is greater than theirs and that you have the power and capability to go far in life. And so what they do is they will implement these strategic tactics to get you to believe that you belong here while he's up here. Men have tried this with me. What I love the most is that I get to be underestimated. And when I call them on this, when I check them on their manipulation tactics, I never hear from them again, which lets me know that their intentions were not good and that they wanted to bring me down here. Newsflash, that will never fucking happen. So please, ladies, if you are seeing this, please take this Ballerina Farm story as a lesson to, one, not put yourself in positions and situations where you are being manipulated by a man. Number 2, detach yourself from male-centeredness because, like I said before, men will never center you. They're always going to put themselves first, and that's exactly what we're seeing with Ballerina Farms. And my heart goes out to that woman. I honestly, I don't even think that woman has a way out, as pessimistic as that sounds. In order to center yourself, you must decenter yourself from the things, ideologies, and people that you're not benefiting from.
Just imagine your husband is an heir to JetBlue. Gonna jet waiting. Heir to a commercial airline, even if it's one commercial airline. People have how many thousand acres, how many hundreds acres, but you cannot use one room to do what you're passionate about after dropping 8 children. And I'm sure if you check now, she may have more children because the man, he came off of a family of 10, which is what he's trying to replicate, what he saw in his family. I don't even know what else to tell women. Like I really do not know what else to tell women because sometimes you think it's only children. You think only like women that are like 20 years old, but you will still see older women going down the same route. You will still see them. 8 children. And to me, having 8 children, everybody will do what they want to do. But from my own perspective, 8 children with no help, there's no way you want to tell me that you're giving all those children the attention that they need. There's no way you want to tell me that. No way. But in her case, upon how rich her husband is, she does not have any help. She will be so ill that she has to take 1 week straight, multiple times, because of exhaustion. If it's not slavery, what is it? If this is not slavery, what is it? You cannot buy her ticket to Greece. Me sitting down here can buy ticket to Greece. You, a whole big man, cannot buy her ticket to Greece. At this point, I really don't know what I will say. But these ones we're talking about, this is somebody that has money. But you now come and see some men that they don't even have 2 points to rub together. Their brain has not even developed to a place where they can actually bring one idea that will bring money. Them too, they want submissive wife. They want trad wife too. When you say audacity, this one is it has quote audacity.
How good are you at house cleaning
Excellent.
and cooking?
Excellent. I'm a country girl. My dad had a farm. I was raised on a farm. We had chickens. We had pigs. Yeah, and I want to really get back to that again, actually. I just bought a house in August and getting chickens, goats, probably some ducks.
Would
I love to clean.
Be willing to just stay home and not work?
I don't work.
Oh, that's
I'm
outstanding.
retired. Yeah, I don't work.
Okay.
Don't plan on going back.
Okay.
Nope.
You're going to be the provider. I'm looking for work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you used to do?
Recyclables,
Okay.
janitorial.
Okay.
Skills I picked up. I've done some time, a substantial amount of time.
Time doing what?
Incarcerated.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to specify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Any question?
Oh my god, Siva. I'm tired of these people. This cannot be real. It cannot be for real. Even the woman too. Are you seeing how she has gray hair, but she's not clocking what he's saying, and it's not by age, huh? It's not by age. When you decide that you don't want to have sense, it will not happen. I don't. Maybe she's clocking it, or maybe she's clocking it, but she doesn't just want to say it on air. But it does not seem like it. She does not understand the gravity of what this man is saying. He has done time. He does not have shengbai, no 1 naira in his pocket, no 1 pound in his pocket. But he wants somebody that is not going to go to work. So what you want to go chop? What are people going to eat in the house? Love. When you want to go and buy bread, you go and tell them that, I love you. They'll give you bread, Abby. Oh my God, I beg. I'm tired.
Guys, the straights are not okay. Why is it trending among especially like men in their 20s saying, oh, women are no longer submissive. Feminism has failed. I'm a traditional man and I want a traditional woman. And I'm like, bro, do you even own a home? Can you pay her bills? Are you paying her cell phone bill and her car payment and her insurance and giving her money to go get her hair and nails done and go shopping? No? Oh, she has to work full time too? Then you're not a traditional man. Now, if you have a good enough job or, are lucky enough to be born into wealth and you can give your whole family a middle class lifestyle on your income alone, you will have no trouble finding a nice lady who wants to be a stay-at-home mom and a housewife. You won't. Don't tell me you're a traditional man when you guys are splitting the rent, you're splitting the bill, she's covering dinners, you want 50-50, and then you want to be able to tell her what to do. And on that subject, here's the thing. If you are responsible, compassionate, reasonable, and mature with a lot of things, a spouse is going to say, oh, thank God you've got this. Great, I can relax. I'm gay, obviously. Me and my partner have been together for 5 years, so we don't have gender roles, right? We're the same gender. Now, he's financially the responsible one. He is better with money and budgeting than I am. So in this case, he makes the financial decisions. And for me, I'm like, great. I don't have to stress about this. Just tell me how much I can spend. Tell me how much needs to go into savings. Tell me what I should put into retirement, right? But there's no gendered expectation there. It's just, that's what he's good at. He's the better cook too. Now, we both cook, but he cooks more often. I buy the groceries and he makes most of the meals. A functional household, is one where people take the roles that they're good at and that they want to do. But if your wife is a responsible one, overall, so she's having to watch the finances and budget and tell you what you can spend. If she's the one that's got to remember to take the kids to the doctor's appointments, if you can't manage all the things that, it takes to run a household, then your wife is going to have to do it. And then you can't complain that women aren't submissive when she's doing things that just has to get done. And Last thought on this. The biggest reason why you can't have a traditional wife is neoliberalism and austerity. You think that by being a conservative, you're upholding these conservative values. But the time whenever the most amount of Americans could survive on a single income household, it was more common for women to stay at home, was when the US was a social democracy. Okay, the top tax rate was 90%. Union density was triple what it is now. Homes costed a small fraction of what they are now. So home ownership was in reach for young people. This is whenever you could afford to do that. Okay, now you can't because of conservative policies, because of neoliberalism and austerity, because we've cut taxes on the rich and then we've shifted the tax burden onto income taxes. Okay, we're not taxing wealth, we're taxing your labor. So the wealth gap has widened. A small amount of people are making a ton of money and the rest of us don't have much to show for it. And that's why you can't pay her bills. That's why you can't own a home. It is because of conservatives. In a social democracy, you have more flexibility to potentially have one spouse stay home while the other one goes to work.
When I hear the thing called that submissive wife, I think the word has already been like bastardized. I think that's the problem because generally to me, what he's saying makes sense and it's what I've always thought that a marriage should be. If two of us are sitting down in a marriage, I'm working, you're working. Even if you're not working, or even if I'm not working, God forbid I marry somebody that's not working. Even if I'm not working, which is never going to happen, but I'm not going to see something that I am good at and allow you to do it, and I see you doing it the wrong way, and I'll say, okay, go and do it when it's going to affect me directly. I'm not daft. I am not. If I have experience in index funds, the stock market in general, and just general investment, let's say real estate investment, because my undergraduate degree was in real estate. I'm not going to sit down with you. Let's say you have background in, let me say, international relations with no single, no, you have not put £1 inside the stock market, and I'll allow you to go and invest my money. I'm not going to do that. So everybody should focus on your area of economic advantage. Focus on the area that you are naturally good at or you have experience in. I'm not going to carry my life and give you because you have a dead leg. Huh? Even my village people, my village people would think that maybe after running mad. Everybody pick the part that you are good at. And then if I'm good at finances and I tell my husband, oh, so this is the amount of money that we need to be saving, this amount of money you can spend this and you don't want to do it. I don't understand. Because you think I cannot tell you what to do. You have misroad. You are in the wrong direction. The same way, if he is good at cooking, because me, I'm not good at cooking. I just learned how to cook not too long ago because I was a rebellious child. Rebellious child of a Nigerian parents. Of Nigerian parents, it was hell. Not hell though, but I just didn't learn how to cook because I was just stubborn. And I saw that it was gendered. I've been like this since I was small, don't worry. If he knows how to cook, if he's a professional, I'm not going to come when he's cooking. I come and say, oh, no, you're supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do that one. I'm not mad. Him is not mad. So everybody should focus on the area that you are good at. Let's stop all this gender thing. Oh, you need to submit. So I'll submit and now say, okay, this road is going to lead you to hell. Oh. I will now say, okay, let's go because you're the one that is driving the car. Women, if you like, don't wake up. If you like, don't wake up. Now we'll move into the trend of trad wife at 20 and single mother at 40 trend going on.
That trad wife to single mom in your 40s pipeline, yes, that's being exposed. All down my For You page, we got these women that are 40, maybe 50 years old, talking about how they were the perfect trad wife. They baked bread, they cleaned the house, they had unmedicated births, they stayed home and reared the kids, and their man still left them for somebody that was 15 years younger than them. Literally. And that's the thing. I think that's why people don't like Nara Smith. One, the Mormon thing, and then also because she's romanticizing the idea of being a trad wife. When in actuality, no amount of self-sacrifice and no amount of people-pleasing and man-pleasing is going to prevent somebody that seeks to mistreat you from mistreating you. That's how that happens. I mean, that's just what it is. You can never be perfect enough for someone that seeks to hurt you. Okay? Y'all, it's really sad watching these women like basically say, I'm a single mom of 4 kids now. He lives with another woman, blah, 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 blah. And I saw somebody in the comments that said something so perfect. You never see a 40-year-old trad wife advocating to become a trad wife. A lot of the times, it's typically somebody that is young and very new in the lifestyle. Y'all, if you're in your 20s, even if you're in your 30s, listen to these women, okay? They are what your future could look like.
My husband abandoned me and our 4 kids for a 19-year-old escort. I went to Trader Joe's to buy myself a bag of groceries, swiped my card, and it was declined. I should have had a ton of money in that account, and it was all gone. It was gone. My name had never been on one of our homes. My name hadn't been on our vehicles. My name wasn't on the Mercedes that I was driving at the time that our marriage ended. He was able to evict me from the condo that we were renting together because I didn't even exist on the lease, not even as a roommate, not even as a pet. He just canceled the lease. I was just some weirdo living in the condo that Jake had canceled, and so the apartment evicted me. I'd always kind of thought in my head too, like, being a homemaker gives me a lot of skills that I bet would translate into a job. So I right away put together a resume, talked about all of the work that I had done in our family businesses, and went out and started interviewing for jobs. And there was not a person in this entire fucking world who wanted to hire a 44, 45, 46-year-old who had been a stay-at-home mom since the time she was 20. So my first and actually only job that I had after my divorce was $11 an hour working as an assistant in an elementary school classroom 4 hours a day. If you did the math, $44 a day. The only reason that my rent is paid this month is, first of all, my TikTok followers are constantly supporting my content, and I have 3 separate jobs: sales job, furniture flipping business, and I'm still working my Mormon essential oils MLM. I work 7 days a week. I have no retirement. I live in a family member's guest house that they could sell at any moment. I've only existed in the credit world for about 4 years, so I can't finance anything. And it just kind of pisses me off that I went into my marriage thinking that I had a 100% success rate. I didn't have an exit strategy. I didn't have any way to support myself if things went south, and here I am. So I've been living this out on camera for the past 3 years, and I don't plan to go anywhere. I'll keep you posted. Let's see how it ends. Would have been better if I had made different decisions in the beginning, and I wish that somebody had told 20-year-old me that a man is not a plan. Never has been, never will be.
Next time you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be a housewife, I'm so sick of school. I want you to envision this. You have this new dress, this new purse that you really want to buy. But you don't have a job, you didn't earn your own income before you got married, so you have no money saved up. Your husband doesn't give you your own stream of income, he makes you financially dependent on him. So now you have to go to him, but it's really expensive, so you can't just ask him for it. So now you have to be strategic, you have to give it up when you don't want it, you have to be extra nice, you have to play a couple games here and there, you know, make his favorite dish. And then you go to him. Okay, it's really expensive, you're like, Habibti, my love, darling, whatever you're gonna call your husband. I really want this dress, I really want this purse, can you please get it for me? He goes, no, that's way too expensive, you don't need that. But you're like, please, like, I haven't gotten anything in a while, can I please get it? If you're not already getting the ick, I don't know what to say to you. He's like, no. And you're like, please, I really want it. And he's like, I'll think about it. Or you go to the grocery store and you spend a little bit more than you were supposed to, and he asks you, why did you spend an extra like $50 at the grocery store? You're like, oh, I just want to buy like healthier yogurt. And he's gonna question every single thing that you buy. He's gonna tell you yes or no to what you can buy. Wallah, I would rather myself before I sit there and beg someone to buy me something like they're my mom or my dad. I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing, but I remember when I was younger, I never liked asking my mom or my dad or even my older siblings for things, because I didn't like the idea of having to ask them for permission to buy something that I want, right? But it's their money, obviously I have to. So I started making my own money just so I wouldn't have to ask them. Like, that was the deal breaker for me. Like, if I wanted to buy a shirt or some piece of clothing, whatever it may be, I always had to run it by them first before I bought it. And that just felt so restricting. And so, like, for me, when I look at marriage and I think of a marriage where I'm financially dependent on my husband and I have to run everything by him and I have to ask for permission to buy something, no, absolutely not. Like, for me, it's like, if I can't buy something because of financial limitations or because I didn't want to, like, at least it's me stopping myself and not someone else. But I don't know, that's just me. Maybe some girls like that power dynamic, maybe they're okay with it. Not me, bro, no. And truly, if you thought, oh my gosh, every time I ask for something he's gonna give it to me, you're deluded. That's not how money works, that's not how people work, unless he's like filthy rich and really just that generous, and most men aren't.
Stories of women that I know who weren't able to leave their husbands because they were financially unable to. If this doesn't scare the shit out of you, I don't know what will. I know someone whose husband had an affair with her sister for years, but she is still with them because she can't afford to financially leave. Number 2, I know someone whose husband beats the living lights out of their kids. There have been allegations of abuse, but they can't leave because they financially can't afford to. Number 3, someone whose husband gambled away all of their property and their businesses, used all the finances on escorts and his side women, and she stayed because financially couldn't. I don't know what finances he had by the end of it, but she stayed. Number 4, I know someone whose husband goes back to their home country every summer, and they have escorts in their house, but she can't leave even though she knows her husband is cheating and putting her sexual health at risk because she can't afford to. Okay, number 5 or number 6, I actually have lost count. I know someone who got married to his wife, forced her to wear the niqab with sunglasses and gloves, took away her right to sort of go out and socialize, her financial independence, everything, made her ultra conservative, to then get a second wife who is a TikToker and dances on TikTok and posts with her hair out, freely mixes everything. And he said that the wife became really weird and too extreme, and that's why he had to get a second wife. Also, the fact that she had 4 daughters, which biologically speaking is literally not her fault, so what the fuck. I know someone else whose husband regularly beats them up to a point where the relatives have to like jump in front of her and hide her because they're scared for her life, but she can't afford to leave. That's why she stays in that marriage. And if that doesn't motivate you to keep yourself financially independent to whatever extent, I don't know what will. These are real life stories. This isn't something I'm making up. These are women that I know personally who live these lives, and you can't even help them because they refuse. They refuse to see a life where they can be independent because they have convinced themselves after years of conditioning that they are incapable of looking after themselves.
Men don't want women to work as a control mechanism and then shame them and abuse them for not working and leave them destitute. Make me choose between you and a job, and I choose the job, no contest. Yeah, this comment. The only regret I have in my life so far is the fact that I did choose him and not my job, even though I didn't want to. And I did it out of straight up guilt because of how unseemly it would be if I chose money over family. And if only the 47-year-old version of me, or even the 40-year-old version of me, could go back and shake the living shit out of the 32-year-old version of me that made that decision. I got that ultimatum, you can either have your career or your marriage, just after my 1-year anniversary, when I had already signed a prenup that stated that if I divorced him before year 5, I would not get a single penny. So I had no financial protection. And when I balked about giving up my 6-figure income, he guilted me, by saying I had no faith in him and that I didn't trust him. But I mean, wasn't he actually giving me a warning, telling me exactly what to expect? Over the next decade, he would constantly remind me about his money and his house and the lifestyle that he gives me whenever he felt it was appropriate to keep me in line. And then he would always remind me, oh, you do nothing all day, and you could work if you really wanted to. Well, during that decade, I actually tried several different entrepreneurial avenues. I had a food blog. I had a crafting business. I had a YouTube channel. And finally, I actually got a real estate license to do flips. And all of that was sabotaged by him at one point or another. He would rage at me. At the time, I spent focused on those things and not him. When I found a property to flip, he completely backed away from the verbal agreement we did have. And he asked me to quote, "Why do you need your own money?" When I was interviewing to go back to work, he would pick a fight with me the morning of my interviews, telling me things like, oh, they're not going to hire you because, again, to quote, "you don't have the eye of the tiger." And even after we split, I spent a lot of time ruminating on the job stuff and gaslighting myself, thinking maybe I could have just tried harder. I could have kept a career and my marriage, until I learned that he made his girlfriend of 5 months give up her career. That's when I knew I wasn't crazy. They ended up dating for 14 months and getting married. He's on marriage number 3. So now he has a new person to fill with regrets.
So I see women on this app like crashing out because of how horrible like their ex-husbands are, their baby dads are, just like ruining their life and just, making their life so difficult. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so horrible what those women are going through. And now I'm one of them. I filed for divorce 2 months ago. I've been trying to look for an apartment, and the places that I'm looking at, I need to make 3 times the rent to be able to rent them. And unfortunately, with my job, I'm a CNA. I don't make 3 times the rent. So I need a child support order to be able to add to my income so I can meet the requirement. And I've been trying to get into some sort of settlement with my soon-to-be ex-husband on that. And basically, he is blackmailing me, I guess. He wants me to sign away all rights I have to his military retirement. He is in the Army. He has been in for 18 years. He'll be retiring in 2 years. And I've been married to him the entire time. So the retirement's a marital asset. So I am entitled to part of it. We've been going back and forth and fighting about it, and I just can't take it anymore. I just want to leave. I just want to move out, and I just want to start my life over. So I offer to sign away my right to the military retirement in return for spousal support and the entirety of the savings account that we have. I send the proposal to my lawyer and tell her this is what I'm proposing to do. And she comes back and says, well, this is a bad idea. And then she says, well, you could get a temporary order from the court for the child support, but that's going to cost you $4,000 in legal fees, and it may not be binding because it's only temporary, so you may not even be able to use that to really add to your income. And she goes into this long thing, which I appreciate. I appreciate her telling me the legal stuff, because she's basically telling me you are an idiot to sign this away. And she does all the numbers, and the numbers don't make any sense. Basically, I'm giving away more to get less. She's basically trying to persuade me to kind of wait this out till the final order happens, because it will go in my favor if I can just wait it out. But I can't wait it out because I have to stay in the house with this person. Yesterday, he called me the nanny. He said that I'm going to pay you child support and you're just going to be the nanny for my kids. When I told him, like, I need to try and stay in the district so our kids can keep going to their school, and the neighborhood that we're in is a little bit more expensive, so I need the child support order. And he said, it's not my problem. It's not my problem that you can't afford a place for them to live. In fact, I hope that's how it plays out. Because I want the kids to see that you can't support them. I want the kids to see that you can't afford for them to live in a nice place. And I want them to know that they're going to have to go through a hardship because of what you did. Your pressure campaign that he's been putting me under for the last 2 months since I filed is really him trying to get me to drop the whole thing. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe he just wants me to drop the whole thing. If I went to him and I said, okay, I'm just going to drop the divorce, got rid of my lawyer, and then didn't do anything, I think he'd drop his lawyer and we would just go about life like before. I honestly believe that. I just think he doesn't want to not be married anymore to me. Not because he loves me or anything like that, but just because this is a big inconvenience to him. It's a big inconvenience, and he has to do all of these things he doesn't want to do, and all he wants to really do is just go to work, come home, play video games, watch some corn, and nap. And I'm disrupting all of his plans with my annoying, irritating divorce. This is very long, but I'm hoping that a woman's going to see me, see what I'm going through, and say to yourself, I don't want to go through that. And it could easily be me, because it could easily be you. I am not special. I'm not special or unique. I'm just a woman. I'm just a woman.
with 2 kids. It can happen to you too.
Yes, that is what he's trying to do. If it frustrates you enough, you will come back into the house and whatever abuse he was giving you will be multiplied by 1,000. That is exactly what he's trying to do. So I don't know why you're second guessing yourself. I guess if you're in this particular situation, like if you're in the middle of a situation, you will not see some things. But yeah, literally, I'm happy that at least she kind of has an idea, because I don't even need to have met the man. But we have heard the same story, 1,001 times. We have heard this same story. You will think it is one man and one woman we're talking about in all these stories, because it's the same blueprint. The same blueprint. If you are going into the marriage, have your prenup. Even if you are working while he is also working, have your prenup. And don't go and sign somebody else's prenup without taking it to your own lawyer. I don't even get it. You people don't understand the gravity of a contract or what? I don't understand. Don't go and sign a document without understanding what is in the document, without reading it. For somebody to create a prenup before the what they call it, the marriage, know that he has thought about it. And it's the same for you as well. If you that means if I'm bringing a prenup into my marriage, my husband too will know that I'm not here to joke. I have thought about every single possibility. We're not here to we're not living in La La Land. We're not in Disneyland. We're not what do they call it? Fiona. Like, it's quite perplexing. So if when you're going to the marriage, sign your prenup. He will give you his own prenup. He will take it to the lawyer. You will also take your own prenup to the lawyer. Then you make your adjustments, you make his adjustments until you come to a conclusion, a level playing field. If you are having children, if you are somebody that wants to have children, your prenup should be airtight. In fact, get the most expensive lawyer that your money can. The money that you use to buy your wedding gown, use that money to go and get the best lawyer you can find. I'm not saying that I want your marriage to end, but we are living in real life. I'm not praying bad for you, but we're really living in an actual world here. We're not living in a movie. Yeah. If you're going to have children, it should be airtight, because even if you're not a stay-at-home mom, for some time you will not be able to work. Even if your company is paying you for 1 year antenatal, I mean, what they call it, I don't even know, the maternity leave. Even if your company is paying you for that, at some point, all you're losing experience. You know, there's a difference between 1 year experience and 2 year experience. That 1 year, what the experience you would have got is not something that can be valued with money. You are losing something for the time you're not having giving birth to children. And then you now see this, at least thank God this woman had only 2 children. The other woman that has 8 children, where do you think she's going to start from? Where? Where do you think she's going to start from if she wants to leave that marriage? Where? Some of them are even lucky that they have family they can go and stay with. If you're someone like me now that don't have family in the UK, if I go and get married now and say, okay, I want to have 20 children, where will I go? Where? We have to be thinking about things with all our complete brain. Think about it early in the morning when the road is not busy, when things are not busy. Sit down early in the morning to think. Don't be thinking in the afternoon, because I don't know what the problem is. Huh? If you're having children, your prenup should even be more airtight and stronger to take all the, because it is not an even relationship. As I always say, the world on its own is patriarchal. It's a patriarchal world. So you are already at a disadvantage. Yeah, but which I don't say that to mean you should live your life as if you are no, but it is what it is. You are because of the world we live in, because of society we live in, you're already at a disadvantage. So it is the paper that is going to help you if anything is push comes to shove. That paper, that prenup, is what will help you. When you are buying land as a family, make sure your name is, don't say Mr. and Mrs. Goldsmith or whatever your name is. Don't say that on the paper, no. My name is Tokwase. So let's say Mrs. Tokwase. I'm not changing my last name. I'm using my, I'm not, even if I get married, I'm not changing my last name. My name, Mrs. Tokwase, my last name, and Mr. whatever his last name is what to be on the document, not Mr. and Mrs. Whatever his last name is. No, no, no. Your name, your first name, your last name, and his first name, his last name on the document. Yeah? And then make sure, okay, it's notarized and it goes through the full process. If the agreement is that he's going to be paying you a particular amount for giving birth to his child, make sure you don't allow love to cover your eyes so that he'll not pay you that money. If he's supposed to be paying you £2,000 every month, that's your agreement, whatever your agreement is. Don't allow love to cover your eye and not allow him to pay you that money. Make sure it is paid. And there is a consequence for it not being paid. In writing, that you can carry to the courts. They will drain you. Because all those 8 children now, all these 2 children, they will leave you. They will leave you and go. They will leave you with the children and go. They will leave you. We have seen countless stories of it. They will leave you and go and start another family again. And go and look for somebody else to give 25 children. Be laying children like eggs. They will leave you and go. So have your own best interest at heart. Fight for yourself. Like nobody is going to come out and fight for you. Open your 2 eyes.
There are no tradwife content by mid-age or older tradwives, because by that time, they're living their consequences. They're not about to go on social media and sell young women this idea that this lifestyle is something aspirational. I met a 46 or 7-year-old tradwife who was claiming that she was in a narcissistic relationship. She didn't even know how to log into her bank account and know how much money they had. She doesn't know what their net worth is. This woman had been married maybe 15 years, had 2 kids. Then she told me that the relationship had been abusive from quite early on. Very disconnected, no intimacy, has no idea what he's up to. Because if he doesn't touch her, we all understand what he's probably doing, right? There's no way a straight cis man would settle for a sexless marriage unless he is gay and he's in the closet. Even in that case, we know that he's getting his fun. Duh. He has all the power in the relationship. And then she proceeds to tell me that she's saved up some money in case it becomes dangerous or whatnot. She proceeds to tell me how much she has saved up as her emergency fund. I had to tell her, that's 1 month of expense for a family of 3. She thought that she could share with me because she saw that I was divorced, I have 2 kids, I have a successful career. I couldn't even tell her even a smidgen of what it takes to be a financial provider to 2 children. She had 0 financial concept, didn't understand anything about insurance, financial planning, investing. She can't even log into a bank account. She's hiding away cash. Being a traditional wife is not a life hack. Let's just make that very clear. It's meant to keep you helpless and dependent on a man. It's meant to clip your wings. This is not a hack for a soft life. You live in capitalism. Whatever work that you don't do now, whatever you don't pay for now, you're indebted for the rest of your life.
Not realizing that that very act of becoming a stay-at-home mom would destroy our world.
Wow, there is nothing like living a lesson. So this woman says when she talks about her experience of being a stay-at-home mom and basically how that led to the destruction of her life, when she got an unexpected divorce, she and her children became homeless. And she's talking about now how they, know how to deal with food insecurity and things like that. She's basically saying the time where she was being a stay-at-home mom, making the smoothies, doing the fun projects and all the craft shit and whatnot was not worth it. And the women who come in her comments who are like, oh, well, I would rather have this time than like financial security or my career or whatever, because you can't get this time back. She's like, yeah, you can't get this time back, and you don't know what it's going to cost you in the future. This is it. Like, whenever women start talking about real shit financially, when we start talking about the actual cost, how women do end up homeless, how women are taken for a ride in divorce court. It's not this magical MRA fantasy where women get alimony and child support. Actually, divorce is the thing that endangers women the most financially. And actually, that just goes to show how necessary it still is, because even knowing this, women still go for it because marriage is so awful. Like, this is what I need women to stop with all these Barbie fairy tale princess dreams of, oh, I want a partner. Do you? Do you really want a partner? Because this is what partnership looks like for a lot of women in the developed world, okay? As I continually say to you all, you don't want a marriage. You want the fantasy of a marriage you've been sold. And I'm not here to criticize you for that, because a lot of times we are intentionally being kept from the truth because they want you to reproduce and continue to uphold, American hegemony. They want you to produce more workers. They want you to keep the system going and whatnot. But if you pull your head out of the sand and look at the reality of life, you don't want any of this. And I hate that every time somebody brings up real facts, people have an emotional answer. Oh, what about the time? I'm sure this woman would rather have worked. And, it's not like you're not going to spend time with your children. You're still going to see them, and had the base of security, because what being a stay-at-home mom does is it really makes you very vulnerable. As this woman was so brave to share, this can often be the outcome. And it doesn't matter if the guy is very wealthy or whatever. Look at Dwayne Wade's first wife. Your husband can be in the freaking NBA. It doesn't mean you're going to get paid what you deserve. It doesn't mean you're going to retain your children. Look at Betty Broderick. Look at all these men. They will take your children just out of revenge and bitterness, and your life can still be destroyed. So be.
All that work and what did it get me?
As a California divorce lawyer, I don't hate on trad wives. I don't celebrate trad wives. Frankly, I just worry about them. One of the comments on the post that I stitched kind of encapsulated why. And they said that you never see trad wives in their 40s on TikTok celebrating being a trad wife or stay-at-home mom or whatever. That's because you oftentimes find these women who are in their late 30s, early 40s, still with school-age children, in an office like mine trying to figure out what options they have now that their marriage is over. That's when they discover they're going to have to fight for every little bit of financial support that they get, and it's not going to be nearly what they were living off of before. The children that they've grown accustomed to seeing every single day of their lives are now going to be spending half their time in a house that they don't even get to enter. And if they were lucky to save up any financial resources, they're probably going to be spending it on someone like me to fight for all of this tooth and nail. I see people comment things like, well, that's why I went and got a college education and worked a little bit before I got married, so I'll be okay if things don't work out. Because you've been out of the workforce so long, you can't get a job making that kind of income anymore. Yet your ex and the court will kind of expect you to anyway because, well, you have those credentials now. So how do we fix this? How do you still have that kind of life but protect yourself? This may surprise you, but the best way to protect yourself is with a prenuptial or even postnuptial agreement. This agreement will state that for every month that you stay home and take care of the kids or any other domestic duties, your husband will place a certain amount of money in a separate account under your name, and that money will be your separate property. The amount of money is up to you, but my suggestion is always 1/2 of whatever it would cost to hire someone to do the same kind of work that you're doing. Now, the key to doing this right is during the marriage, never letting your husband come up with any excuse not to make that monthly deposit. And trust me, they'll try to come up with a lot of excuses. Just remember to stick to your guns. It's your future that you're trying to protect.
This is going to be controversial, but when it comes to the trad wife at 20 to single mom at 40 pipeline, y'all really have no one but yourselves to blame. What do y'all think the second wave feminist movement was all about? The grannies been told us. The aunties been told us. Our grandmothers had to fight the U.S. government to get bank accounts. And barely even 50 years later, y'all are voluntarily giving them up because Connor from English 101 told you he was going to love you forever. What? Y'all, please BFFR. We are so much smarter than this, ladies. Do not trust the relationship decisions you make at a time where your boobs are fully developed, but your brain is not. When you let a man have complete and total financial control over you, he will always eventually fuck you over. At the end of the day, they're always going to have the mindset of, well, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. The entire stability of your life cannot rely on a man that you marry in your 20s wanting you for the next 60 years. And vice versa, because the T is, what happens when you wake up and you don't want him anymore? What happens when you're ready to walk away, but you have no job experience, no bank account, nothing, because your entire future relied on this guy, this one human being wanting you forever, or you wanting them forever? I love my man down. down. I would die for that man right now. I truly am in love with him from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head, but I will always love myself more. Always. I'm talking separate bank accounts, prenup, the works. Because when you fail to plan your what? Planning to fail. Always remember, if you don't take nothing else away from this conversation, always remember a man is not a plan. A man is not a plan. A man is not a plan.